ဟုတ်ပါ
Marabala. Marabala. Okay, was a salo kila ke bamne. Ye salo kila ke bame. Hoba kizuba. Ye salo kila ke bame. E tana bro zama de ne bodo in zo tu ojango ba pro shan ne de tu in shan de go ne pro shan da so ke a shi go de khanda go ne ka pi tha re aka go pi tha ba ne nya tane lang de go do ma chin ne ne sei so la lo le sei set la lo tu me pa la it is bad enough looking after this blasphemy so ke tu lang de go pro shan blasphemy ne nya ga ta pro ha be jano de pan phe lok sa di pa tu in shan ga pan phe lok sa go nya tane e pan phe tayaw ko le great shoe sang chang so jang lwen ni me ba ne bad enough so ke e za group le da ma ko ma ko bia ba ne lwen ni me ba ye ne ko so e pan phe tayaw ko great shoe sang chang so le lwen ni me ko ne ko so without being your mother too ね မအမိသိမရှိနာဦးမှာကောအလုံးရှုပ်ပါရဲ့ပန်းဖေးစီကိုရာနေပြီးတော့ဂရေရှုဆောင်ချောင်းဘလားနေအရှိကိုရာလိုက်ထားတာဘလားပဲလောင်သေးပါကဲပါလားစေစမှာအရှိဇနာနဲ့နေပြီးတော့စေစမှာလောင်သေးပါကဲပါလားနဲ Now one of these days you will drive me to the graveyard pay up you and one of these days a do don't brother these days a do don't နဲ one of these days initranama ba ye initranama brother initranama you will drive me to the graveyard is not shay brother ne not shay the pair of you le mon na ko lo nga ti bu pye lo brother initranama mon na ko lo ti bu pye lo brother ne drive me to the graveyard is not shay brother
la fe le mong ti koပြောစပါလား
pro ni da ma de ne mo pro ni daဒါဘယ်လိုလဲလမ်းတွေကဟိုကျွန်တော်ပေါက်တွေကိုခင်တော်ကိုနဲ့ကာပြီးတော့ပါမလားညတနေ့လာပါတေဖို့မလားပေါက်တွေကိုဒီကတော့သားဆိုမောက်ပြီးထောစတော့သားဆိုဒီလမ်းတွေပေါက်ကြတော့ပါလေဒီရပြီတော့နဲရပြီမောင်းလို့နှစ်ကောလို့ငါတီးဖို့ပြည့်ဆိုရပြီပြရနေโอเคရပြီစာလို့ကြည့်ပါမယ် Joe said nothing she is a simple gentleman and he never complained about Miss Joe's bad temper, but he protected me when he could, and I love him for it. Hey, bro. So Joe said nothing. Joe said who long the go. The Yawha diva. Yawha got the police bro. And then bro. She was a simple gentleman. A gentleman. The thing we are go the gentleman the body man. Gentleman go I will play. Lu Yingji bane. Lu Yingji. He never complained about Miss Joe's bad temper. Bad temper is the bala. Bad temper.
How did that?
Oh, bad temper is bala. Bad temper is bala. You're right.
Say to ba
Say to so. Say sorry. Say to re. Say sad. Whatever. Just follow the one. Complain about the present number abane present number khali present number complain da ya mayo de sei so me so phai kale ta kha le brand lo ne mi lo ye ma tung brand bro bro but he protect me ye e chang so go lo thang ba la jano jang nin ni ji ho nin ni jiဒီတပေါ်ထဒီပြောမိုင်းနဲ့ရောက်တဲ့ချိန်ပါအေးဘယ်စပုံနဲ့တော့တော့ပေါ်လာ
တရားစိတ်ဆိုးနေခါတရားမပြောတော့ကောက်ပါရီဟုတ်ပါရဲ့အေးစစ်ကြဟာပြောဆိုကောက်ပါရဲ့
ဟုတ်ပါရဲ့
တရားစိတ်ဆိုးနေနောက်တယောက်ကလည်းလိုက်စိတ်ဆိုးပြီးပြဿနာဖိုက်ဖို့ရှိကြရတယ်
ပြဿနာဖိုက်ဖို့ရှိပါဟုတ်ပါရဲ့ရေကေဒေသူဂျိုကယ်လို့ဆိုမှန်ပါမလဲ
Mau ba le ta kha.
Aku lolos ya sing masuk dah mebari.
Usually we think so bolo sai to ba do that right. Ta khon lo we think ni.
Aguga nimzage de she account find zabane. Janogaro mail lo thaya janole. Yege yabai dai go ble. Oh maya de bole duga oh inshama bole dai go ble. Chai ji bole duga. Nyadana nimzage. Takuli mo brother. Takuli mo brother ko arigri kaisa le mo ashe ne fine kaisa failo ne. Yega ashe bole chai le duga nyadana takuli mo brother. Okay. Yabzu salu ke ba me. Yabzu ge bad temper ko na le ba ne. Bad temper is saying about good temper. Good temper. Bad temper, good temper ba shi ba ne. Da if the naru ku shi di ga short temper lo shi di. SH or short temper. Okay? Short temper is a say to short temper. Okay? Bad temper. Good temper. Short temper. Short temper. Long temper long temper le chili ba dawi rage long temper jano share box ma boda bare chat box ma okay okay hello ke ba me short temper long temper bad temper good temper ba shi okay the same side okay but he protect me when he could the through 10 ay ka ka bwi bi bare le jano ne and I love him for it the yabai ka bwi bi do ne jano le tu support ja bare tu chai di bare ne yabat tu ga chai di okay it was Christmas Eve. Mrs. Joe was very busy. She was making the food for Christmas meal next day and it was Christmas Eve. Eve Christmas Eve is the it was Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve the yawning ka ai ni ga loပြောတာနော်ဗမာစကားနဲ့ပြောမှဆိုအဲ့ဒီကအဲ့လိုပြောတာနော်အဲ့ဒီဖြစ်တဲ့နေ့ကခုနအဲ့ကောင်လေးအရိုက်ခံရတဲ့နေ့ကနော် okay ဒါ Christmas Eve ဖြစ်ပါတယ် okay Christmas Eve ဆိုတာပွဲတော်တစ်ခုပဲနေ့ဟို Christmas မတိုင်ခင်တရက်ကို Christmas Eve လို့ခေါ်တယ် okay ရပါဆိုရင်ဒီ Christmas မတိုင်ခင်နင်းကိုသွား Christmas Eve လို့ခေါ်ပါတယ်ဒီ it was Christmas Eve Christmas Eve and Mrs. Joe was very busy and okay and she was making the food for Christmas meal next day nabaga so Christmas okay she made me stir the mixture for the Christmas pudding and for an hour and then I was allowed to sit by the fire with Joe as the star and she made me star the the mixture and the molo wood or chung mongo as the star the Jomo Olo wood Jomo the okay mixture for the Christmas pudding. You know pudding? Do you know pudding? Pudding?
No.
Pudding.
Pudding. Pudding look like what?
Oh, boy. The Sanomagon looks like a pony to look, but Sanomagon brother. Pudding. Normal as a pudding for it. I'm not pudding. Okay? Okay, it was for an hour and then I was allowed to sit by the fire with you and as I sat by the warm fire, I thought of a man of cool, wet masses, marshes, as ka why the reason is why ask me why okay why I sat by the warm fire and Young ma tiny car, young ma tiny car, young ma tiny car, was a very young ma tiny car, sings on it. I thought of, thought now off like it, thought of, thought now off like it, think of, thought of, okay, think of, off like it, okay. I thought of the man of of mean about, thought about, okay, thought of me, thought about, and thought about. And the men on the cool wet marshes, the marshes the things on I remember my promise to him. He remembered his promise to him. Okay, the gadigo, the maybe to go nimdage the file ne some food ne go yulara bole naba motaga ne tazin ne saw out the show yulabo to yulabo. Okay, yeah, I thought of the young man who will find me and kill me if I broke that promise. I thought of, okay, I thought of the young man, the young man of Mammy the Bonne, young who look at crowd like that. Where mon in the friend in gun in the Imanimige, if Madu, I saw them you win a premalabin and Nibusuge, Mongo, Dale, Latebo, and the crowd like that. Ashika nimda general sasi mon kadimite mon sasi la swele me yika thamon sasi la swele me pungan yo crowd so by pungan yo edo crowd like so yetane yeshan go dobo ni ashika patira ne I thought of the young man who will find me and kill me if I broke that promise. Okay, the silence of the quiet night was suddenly broke by loud noises that seemed to come from the sea. And the silence of quiet night and the nya shinka aim gave day the day say in gave don't ashiga aim zablo aim les to kronkare nya zabaga kronkare pro radigo to go to around ni to twilu puni ne de to ga muta so she the pile ne some food ko lo pia bo di ga yeshan ko twi pu na ai lo mo pyo shi bo ne di ga aim of your ni shima Nimai the go the thing look at the finding shima I think doesn't cry the silence of the quiet night was suddenly broken and they say come program can okay by the loud noises right loud noises that seemed to come from the sea the only for Ponliji did marshes nama the Mraishim no Mraika Jolhaki Ponliji young Pokalare and correct okay Yiga okay are those the Greek gun Joes are Jolim Maidijo to Tangeju are those the Greek gun Joe I asked the Greek guns are Ashiga Pronis the Greek gun Lana Pipaila Lana agree at the Joe nodded. Nodded. What does nodded mean? Nodded. Not. What does not mean? Hold it, brother. Hold it. The another convinced his escape, he said. One got away last night and the gun were fired for him. Now they're giving warning that a second one has escaped. Another convicts Razweda. How the Razweda over a convict. Okay. Another convict escape. Another convict escape. And now Tauda Razweda bro ne ye pangli ba ma thau chi la am de pangli ba ma thau chi ji ne ya de ne tu razwe ta tyaw lwe la ha be sin na bro okay thau de pangli ba ga den kra de now one got away last night nya ga tyaw lwe la ha re le nya ga mani nya tyaw lo twa de okay mani nya mani ga tyaw lo twa de okay last night mani ga tyaw lo twa de the gun were fired for him thau ba lwe la ha re do ne Luelakare so na atipisa. Yadane gunfire loser. Okay. And now they're giving warning that the second one has escaped. So the divisa by now Tia Luelhabe so now Tasha Lanagri at the divisa. Okay. Who is firing the gun? I asked. Who is firing the gun? Ask no question and you will be told no lines. Okay. My sister snapped in reply. Ask no question. Wait, go me. Did you know me again, brother? Brother. Ask no question. Me brother. You will be told no lines. And me again. Yabazuke, Mongly lines are by. Oh, by the prawn is she brother. My sister snapped in reply. SNAPB it is snap car. You can one brother. One brother. Oh, Pavuna bro, she got ilo many though. Imadia, Makashi will Sagamna Makai Imadia. There's an one bro. Mrs. Joe, I said politely, I really should like to know, if you don't mind, where the fire come from. Ashiga ilumin. Maybe, Mrs. Joe, and maybe Mrs. Joe. I said politely, I really should like to know, if you don't mind. Say machines okay. Where the fire come from? From the hawk. The hawk, my sister answered. Hawk. HULK hawk. Also near the Gujibo. From the hawk. And young Lazar, hawk Lazar. And please, what is the hawk? Hawks tell me. Hawks are prison ship. More on the other side of the marshes. Mrs. Joe explained impatiently. Hawk are prison ship. Prison ship, okay? Taubambo. Taubambo. Retail, young bumpo. Really go much Jaushara. MORRE, more the Jaushara. More the Jausujo Shara, no? Jausujo Shara, Yadanhara. Okay? More Jaushara, okay? Jausujo Shara, Yadhara body. Pile Yevin Dema, the pinball town pinball, no? Okay. More on the other side of the marshes. The Prodo Hupa Prodoma. Dipakemo Hupa Kenoma. The tall look at. The Rebroma, Pumpo, Shatter Brigade, Pumpo Toma, Tauchi. Okay. Mrs. Joe explained impatiently. Right? Impatient, not patiently, but impatiently. Same rate. Many same rate. Progression is same rate. I wonder who put into prison ship. Who is put into prison ship and why they are put there? I said. I wonder to know. I want to know. Wonder me? I want to know. Okay? I want to know. Who is put into prison ship? Adurugo the Taubama, Adurugo Tizale. And why they are put there? Zapalu Tizale, the Bishambare. Zapalu prime memory to us. Double Tauti Titale with Bishams of the Adurugo Tele. Mrs. Joe leaped up and grabbed me by my ear, by the ear. LEAPD, leap up, but jump up. Let me jump. The kind of same ratio, lower same ratio in Mazane. The kind of Gino Tatavi Zalo is narrow link. Grab me by the ear. Okay? Gino Tabala in narrow kind of link right there. Go the gun that negotiable. I will link library, narrow link. In Yaman Yaga means of by the ear. Bind the ears and links up. By the neck to it. The life. The hand. Yeah. Okay.
Leave out
in the hawk because the mother and Rob do all kinds of bad things, she said. And they all begin by asking questions. People are put in the hawk. And because they mother, you know mother? Mother Ludade and Rob. Mother and Rob. Rob's okay? And do all kinds of bad things. And Makosa di Lolo, Makosa Digo Lolo, the Makosa Radigo Lolo, Tautigo Ralazo, she said. Give the Salo brother, and they all begin by asking questions. To make when you mean no ye like Paizo, bro. She will bring them. The make when the Maile, make when we know ye Paizo. You send some make when we know you Paizo, bro. Nah. Young Magoza Loza Ludiza, Zabe Asabu lays okay. Ne, make when the Gani, if I start a Kailaza. This is to pull my ear hard as she spoke and gave me a push. Ne, but can't honestly, Narogo, ne, Narogo honest way. Sago Broyan and Narogo, the can't honest way. If they gave me a push with the two lady, ne, go shy you, Mogone. I don't shy you, Narod good yelling. You got salute and go off to bed. And now go up to bed. Go off 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 is the boat, you know. Magra provide OFF off the go off the talk or go off. Hey, la brother. Go off. Leave off. And push off. And off the long tip like it. We call it the wall, brother. We call it the wall. Brother. Go off to bed now. He added. I went slowly up the dark stair, thinking about the terrible prison ship. I had begun by asking questions, and in a few hours, I was going to steal from Mrs. Joe. I went slowly up the dark stairs. Stairs lega. Thinking of, okay? Thinking of. The terrible prison ship. Okay. I had begun by asking questions. And in a few hours, I was going to steal from Mrs. Joe. Okay. What was he going to steal? What will he going to steal?
Some food and pie.
Food and pie. How there? Some food and pie. How there? Remember it? I saw that the show ne. The 10 out the show does in the show. Okay? I slept very little that night. I was afraid of Mrs. Joe. I slept very little that night. I was afraid of Mrs. Joe. Afraid now of like afraid of. Afraid of Mrs. Joe. I was afraid of the convict. Afraid of the convict. Convict is Razweda. Who on the marshes. And most of all, I was afraid of the terrible young man. Afraid of most of all, along Tima, Myasunga dogi, a Myasunga dogi, a crowsung bane, crowded exas, a crowsung. A crowsunga do growale, a crowsunga. Emma the crowdy, convict go crowd, a crowsunga do it.
Young man.
The young man. Who is the young man? Who is the young man? Sorry? Who is the young man? Hold it. Huh? Okay, young is the whole Luga crowd like the young that get again. Young man's a machine. I mean, crowd like young man's a man game hole. You need to ground a shade so got crowded. Ne, wash like the Poluga. Where monks see last way so now. Oh, you have a last crowd like them. There's a crowded. Okay, there was a solid game. Last at last mean finally. At last mean finally. Okay, at last mean finally. You get the at last the green light of dawn come into the sky. And dawn. Did and dawns are on that. Dawn. Okay, dawn. Are on that. It dawns or Zamabali. Okay, too much knowledge. Too much knowledge make too much. You need too much. You need too much. Okay? Dawn upon them. Did and dawn. A dinner motor general with jump up. Oh, yeah. Are on that. She was a born in the little now into the sky. I got up and dressed. Got up, and dressed. Quietly and carefully, I crept downstairs to the pantry. Pantry. Okay. Quietly and carefully, the thing I crept downstairs. Out I go sign. To the pantry. Pantry is a brother. Who hope again the 1,000 year? I saw about the 1,000 year. Pantry. Pantry for it. Pen. Pantry Zabila Zagala is a PM Pangalaza. Prime pen, global prime pen. Prime pen, FR1 and prime a jaws of PM pens. Jobja.
So yeah.
Prime tree is pantry is young is the 1,000 year. Okay. I saw that the Lishivo, Udi Quadishivo. Okay. I found some bread, a piece of cheese, and a large bone with some meat on it. And Yamazadi again, some bread and a piece of cheese, large bone, and a road with some meat on it. And I thought in a road there was a bottle of little brandy on it. And I took that to. You know brandy? Brandy, you know brandy?
Brandy, a lot.
Brandy is a kind of brandy is a kind of alcohol. Okay? Brandy in it. And how about you? Dabalu Araba lives in Yadruma. Radu Iakilo Araba right. Radu Ilo Aramatoge Rushen. Ne. Araba is a violet way. Araba Puile. Again, Tanoru de Dadima, Tanoru Bremanan, Tanoru Rakhine Dadi. Pula Ila. Oh, my Pure. No, bro, I'm not around the Pure. Again, Araba is a Zafaga. Arada Buluba, Ola, Arada Bulubu. Yaba. Ne. Again, Iri de Dadima, President of G. Aratalo. Pure de Dadima, Arada Bulubu. Marine. Last of all, most of all the Palga, last of all, now soon in there, brother. Now soon in there. On the top shelf, I found a beautiful round meat pie. And on the top shelf, SHELF chef that song. Sing over that sing, no? Singly. On the top shelf.
Yeah. Last of all, yeah. At last, yeah. To do well.
At last, number 2 in it. At last, finally, look at last of all the now so in it. Now so who in it look at. Now so
Dinama Romashiro. Bye. As on in it.
And now so
as last how as last look, you know, last of all she on me.
Okay. Oh, now so to go in it look at. So I some bread you there, a piece of cheese you there, meat you really. I know my shit. Sorry, the brandy you yeah, you there. Last of all, now so to go about it, I found a beautiful round meat pie. Pies are mo a wine mo a wine or bay mo lu bay mo di da ma bay mo no general ma bay mo lu for it ne ya pie a wine mo a wine approach I know you got it okay a door in the kitchen led into the porch. I unlock the door and look for a pie among jewels too. A door in the kitchen led to the porch. Porch. A porch or purple. Nyaga tapu have it, purple. Purple. Lost the name. A door in the kitchen led into the porch. But purple will all right. Young tenkaga. Young tenkaga lala purple. I unlock the door and look for a pie. Then unlock okay. Then how? On like it. Lock like it. And the door and look for a pile and what does it? Then how try among jewels too. Yaga the Kazabla di Tiga Kazabla di Tiga Nimgari that then how does it try. Then locking the door behind me and brigade Kralu Ralhabe brigade then how got print over it. I walk back to the kitchen and I walk back through the kitchen and kitchen go pray lo turning the big key I opened the house carefully and in a few minutes I was running as fast as I could toward the porch on the misty marshes and in a few moments the not rather than other go breathe as fast as towards the port. Nyaga Shintas and near. Mania China and near. Nyaga Shintas and near. Port, all port, but we will chintale. And then a young will breathe on the misty marshes. Misty. Mrusaini do. Mrusaini do marshes. Young will breathe the It was a frosty morning and very dark and cold. Frosty. F-R-O-S-T, frost color. Mrusaini do, brother. Frost. Mrusaini do. And my mutawa. Frosty morning and very dark. Danga so tiny. And not the tiny and cold. The grass was wet, water driven from the trees. Rakhine soul and water drip from the tree. Upon the Kali Nimdage, Rizadi, Janibare, Jani. The mist was so thick over the marshes that I could only see a few feet ahead of me. The mist was so thick. So net than it. So net than it. So net than it. So net that net. So net that net. So that the mist was so thick over the mesh that I could only see a few feet ahead of me. Edwa Zali de Mrusaini Zalo two days away. No Johnny Bane, Mrusaini that. Over the marshes, a Tortima, a broad Tortima, Mrusaini Zalo signing away. I could only see a few feet ahead of me. The Tabinabe Koshiga, Tabinabe Lagu Wemra, Jens of Mara, who a wig of Mara, Yanoti Mrusaini. I saw that a day with a young outie brother. A louty is a young outie, and Yanoti Musaini Mare. As I ran, trees, cones, and gates seemed to lean out of the mist to stop me. Ellie and Linga Nimdage. Meanings of Linga means of Lina Romis of the Bogan Pola. Walking in Pola. A week ago, Marale. A week ago, Mara. As I ran, Briga, General Brido Calvert. Briga, trees, count, and gate seemed to lean out of the mist. A poor like it, walking over to stop me. Now, Janogo, the retensi wood of Polar. Regarding the Awiki Maraka, Brionema, a premium Rangonica Polarity. Okay. Yeah, salu ke ba me. I know the port well, but in my terror, I almost lost my way. And I knew the port well. Port for the candidate, nyaga bro candidate, ne? Young Neo go see bare, ne? But in my terror, terror, in my terror, terror, crowning in my terror, crowning ne? I almost lost my way. Lamp yao name of it. Lamp yao pian. Ne? Go crowd come, I mean the land you. I had just crossed a dish when I saw the little man in gray. I had just crossed. Dish. This is the mro. Two mro. Two meow girl, no? This got two meow girl, no? The and this got two meow girl. I had just crossed a ditch. Two meow who. Pay like when I saw the man in gray. Young Mro with your reason him, oh, to nation doesn't be on. Either Ludia Mrova. Ludia Mrova, Ludia Mrova, in gray, Momo Nemra, ne? You get, oh, you let the nunning age and a prelate Tojala Friday, all our young prelate how won't be given it, the nunning Mara. Okay, you was a follow gave on me. He was sitting on the ground with his back to me. He was sitting on the ground, Raymond Tiny, with his back to me. Back to me. What does with his back to me mean? Here's a book. No little tiny. Over little tiny. With his back to me. Over little tiny. Job little tiny. Over little tiny. I walk up to him quietly and touch his shoulder. I walk up to him. Young Duba will love her quietly. And touch his shoulder. Touch his shoulder. He jumped up and turned to face me. It was not the same man. He jumped up. Turn to face me. So Yana chance I photo Lila now would take it. It was not the same man. Nyaga because of Lumao. Yanuza. And Yaga because of Lumao. Ne? Yika. Taku Kajaga. Ne? But he was dressed in the same rough clothes as the man